you're talking about that's a conscious search. Most of the time, what you're talking about, Facebook, we always got to remember what type of marketing we're running with. It's an interruption-based marketing service, right? No one's on Facebook today, unless they're on Marketplace looking for something. So they're scrolling down their news feed, and boom, your ad appears to them. Whether it's the equity message, the "what's your home really worth" message, if someone were to buy your home, at the end of the day, they're just drawn into like that moment of time in that second, saying, "Ooh, I want to know the value." And so the truth is, we need to realize that this is what they're thinking at that moment. And on the other side of that, there needs to be an experience that is authentic in the way you communicate what you're looking to help them do. And so if there isn't that experience there, if there's no authentic, genuine experience that's coming from contribution, and you allow things to be interpreted, then you're going to have a hard time to go after it, with the exception of these random, examples that people, just said, "I didn't get it," right, or something, and they're really motivated already. But in general, the reason why we preach this till you're blue in the face, because the truth is, if you look at like when someone gets in their email and they see Nicole here smiling, they're going to notice that in that moment, even if they were an address email only lead, that this person isn't like, there's a real person there that's looking to connect. Number one, it's humanized. Number two, they can't at any moment now decide, "Oh, this is what blah, blah," they have to at least entertain this and give this a thought. And if they don't entertain it, then that's not the person you want anyways. But if they do, at least you're putting your best foot forward. And so, Nicole has a really good video. I'll play it real quickly just to give you an example. But she does her, quick question so I can get started working on your home value. That's a different subject line. So just so you know, everything is customizable in your automations. You never need to leave things as is. It's up to you whether or not you want to change it, edit it, right? Subject lines, body of the emails, everything. You can have emails going out every day if you wanted to. We can show you how to add them. She goes in there and does, her a little bit. "Thanks for reaching out on Facebook. Your request for a free home report of blah, blah, blah address is being worked on. As a local realtor, I appreciate your support of local business and will provide you with home's potential selling price based on data you have or will provide and MLS recent sales." Quick question, in bold, "Any updates or information that I should be aware of regarding your home that may affect its value?" So even if they don't get to watch this video in that moment, they can see her. Body language is a big part of communication, guys. Don't forget, tonality only comes when they listen. Body language comes when they're seeing her, even these few seconds. And
I love the fact that it's such a short ad, because the attention span's not going to go away. That's a beautiful ad. And the only thing I did different, Jennifer Salter, I think, or Wendy, changed their updates and stuff to improvements, and I thought that flows so much quicker nowadays. So I'm redoing mine to that too.
yeah,
This is straight from the text, and this is straight from Jennifer Salter's course.
bam, yeah. And so you're going to test it. Obviously, you test and assess, every time you're looking at it. I will say, like, a big part of that is not allowing your automations just to say, "I did it," right? Automations are, in Nicole's case, I think I looked at yesterday, 43% opens. So what about the 57%? Let alone, how do we know if they're watching it, right? So there's a big, I think, learning and training needs to happen on understanding what you need to do outside of the system of StreetText to get this particular email open and watched. And we talk about that over and over again in our conversion workshops. They're called snippets, especially in BombBomb. You take the same email and you recreate it, slightly change it, send it out, and now all of a sudden you have tracking mechanisms all over it. So, but I'll show you that in a second. Let's just play this so you guys can get this. But above, she says, "Click on the video to meet me" on the bottom. "Besides obtaining your free report, I would love to chat about your plans to sell or questions you have about the market." You might want to change it a little bit, throw some equity stuff in there as well. Like, I think anytime you can remove sell position, all that stuff, and really focus on coming from contribution and looking to help figure out goals, you're going to get a better response. Because some people are just looking for, like, what are they going to say sell? When are they going to say sell, right? And so, yes, just keep that in mind as you're doing it. But my brokerage and I have connections of ready, willing, and able buyers for homes just like yours. I like that. I'm happy to list your home and get it sold if that's your goal. The historic photos online do not always justify what the home looks like currently. It's always best to see the actual home's condition by scheduling a 30-minute home walkthrough appointment, set up an in-person walkthrough of your home, or via Zoom meeting. You can also include FaceTime there, Nicole, because a lot of people are like, what's Zoom? You know, hopefully they know at this point. We can just discuss potential list price, marketing strategy, and answer any questions about your selling process. My calendar link is here. So that's our first impression. And then this is what the video would be.
Hi there. Thank you so much for requesting your property evaluation on my Facebook page. My name is Nicole Langell. I am a local Las Vegas area realtor and running my own small business. And I really appreciate the time that you took to request your valuation. Now, I do want you to know that this is an automated response. However, I have already received your request and I'm going to be working on it. You will be receiving an email from me shortly with a personalized video and some more information on the value of your property. Now, if there are any upgrades that you've made to the house since you purchased it, you can let me know either by responding to this email or calling or texting me at 702-708-8604. If you have submitted your phone number, my assistant Julie is going to be reaching out as well, and you can let her know. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, let's get some feedback. I got mine. You guys open.
That's
what
great, Nicole.
was that awesome? What I love that she's even saying this is an autoresponder. It's like, hey, you know, in case you didn't realize this is an autoresponder, here's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna get a personal message from me, right? And she sets them up for if Julie texts them, which is the assistant, right? The AI.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I like getting a compliment from Wendy, so.
Same market.
Yeah, I actually just changed mine up because of Jennifer. And it's actually a lot easier having that canned video going out. Because yeah, we just kind of changed things up a little bit and hopefully it'll help. Got a StreetText listing today, so I'm gonna have to fly in about 45 minutes. So
Damn.
yeah, exciting.
Okay, well, tell you. I'm not gonna let you just tell us you got the listing. How did you get the listing? What did you do?
It was actually one of my first people I talked to when I first started StreetText over a year ago. So
Nice.
I know he had some stuff going on and we just couldn't get him any money out of the house at that time. And we just kept him updated on his value, got it leased for him. And then when the lease was up, I re-pulled comps and it's time to sell. So pretty much he is so excited that he could finally make it.
Did you hear that? Because a lot of people are looking for the next deal, but they don't realize that the deal that they started conversations with over a year ago. There's so many examples, Wendy. I feel like a lot of people don't realize this Facebook lead generation world produces the most fruit the longer you stay with it.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And I actually had a personal meeting with him and everything. And I just said, you know, hey, it looks like we need to wait a little bit longer because you're not there unless you want to, you know, pull some money out of your pocket to close. And which is weird because everybody has equity, but he just bought the year before. So it's really tough to do that, you know, when you only buy it a year. And so now it's been 2 and now he has a lot of equity. So that's good stuff.
So good. What are you guys finding out there for, I mean, it's clear that right now everybody wants position on the home in the market, but a lot of homeowners are scared to because they don't know where they're going to go and buy. So how do you connect those two messages? And is this now an opportunity to start using our buyer ad to kind of throw those two people together?
I know I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying that they're afraid to sell because where are they going to go? And actually, you know what? If it's okay, I'd like to share the BombBomb because I'm going through all of my old leads now. I'd like to share the video that I'm sending to them.
Yeah, please do.
Which I kind of got. I pulled some inspiration from this one. Do I have to go to share screen?
You do, yes.
I pulled some inspiration from this one actually from Wendy, from the video that she sent on HomeBot. But I've had everybody who I'm sending this to from my old leads is, oh, hold on, let me move this. From my old leads is, people are clicking and watching it.
That's cute. I like that.
Hey there, Nicole Angel here with Century 21 Gavish. Yes, it is that time again for your updated home valuation. Now, please keep in mind, as before, this is just a sight unseen valuation based off of the comps and recent sales in your neighborhood. Now, as I'm sure you've probably heard, there is a very low supply of inventory right now. So if you are thinking of selling, this is the time. Many homes are getting multiple offers and closing above list price. And you might be thinking, but Nicole, if there's such low inventory, why would I want to move right now? Well, don't worry about that either, because I will make sure that we have worked into the sales contract that you'll have time to find that house once you accept your offer. And if what you want isn't on the market, I will go and personally door knock every home in the neighborhood that you want until we find you something. So you will not be left homeless. Don't worry about that. If you are thinking of selling and would like me to come and see your house so I can give you a much more accurate figure on what you would receive in a transaction, go ahead and give me a call, or you can hit my calendar link to schedule an appointment. Really looking forward to talking to you soon. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.
That's so good.
I like that.
Please share that to the group.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all inspired by that type of message.
So Nicole, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you running HomeBot too?
I am.
Okay, so did you upload that video to just your sellers to get all that blasted out so you don't have to cut your manning hours down to get the mass effect?
So I'll do that as well, because it'll just be another way for them to get it. But because for that one, I have noticed, and Wendy, I don't know if you've noticed, like the HomeBot valuation is for the most part pretty off right now.
Yes, which is a good thing though. It's an engagement conversation. I just agree with them that it's off. And then that's why I said, I don't know, hey Wendy, was it you or is it Jennifer that changed to improvements instead of updates and upgrades?
I don't remember what I say.
One of you about a couple weeks ago said that, and I changed it, and people are really liking that better. But like I said, this is a more engagement piece. When they say it's off, I send back, laugh out loud, totally right. That's why you need me. And while I got you, and I ask them, but it's just for the mass effect. As you're growing numbers in StreetText and you're moving your leads into that, the fact that if I can send one video, engage 600 plus people or more, whatever you got, all I have to do is follow up with the activity. So just trying to find a way to cut your workload down, because I always say, if you don't have an assistant, you are one.
Right. I actually, when we pull the comps on the property, I go into HomeBot and I make their numbers match mine, because I just don't. Here I am talking shit about all of the online values, and then I give a horrible online value. I want to give, what I'm saying on my video, I want that to be incorporated in HomeBot. So I make sure everything matches before we send out that first report. So that kind of helps.
Yeah, now that I've got a mass, the mass load I did is I load them now, I update it and send it. But if I've had stuff in there 5 or 6 months with the way the market has, it's going to have changed. And so that's why when I get that response, I'm ready for it.
Right.
In HomeBot, when you update the value, will it then carry on from that on its increase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I updated my own home value because I know my home is worth way more than everybody else. Aren't I a typical seller? Anyway, and it stayed. So like I've been watching it and it's growing a little bit from what I did. So
okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I tested it on my own because I was like, what? You think my home's worth that? Anyway, so make yourself a customer.
Yeah. I definitely am on HomeBot.
Also, guys, if you're when you get that email, I believe it's at the end of the month from HomeBot, and it shows you who has been looking at their valuations. Those are the ones that you, if you haven't done anything to address and make the changes, perhaps those are the ones that you need to basically change, and then reach out to them so that you can let them know, hey, there has been a really good change, and that should also bring in some engagement as well.
Yeah, we do that too. I like seeing who's active, and then, I mean, some of them are.
I love that weekly
all
email.
the time.
And remember this, no matter what you send out, buyers or sellers, include yourself. Because if you're running a long-term drip, someone calls you up, you don't want to look stupid with, now, who is this? What are you talking about? That's, I call it a nudge, because now out of the process, when that comes to you, oh yeah, you know what's going out. So when they call you up, you're on it, because people do want to know if you're the expert, you really know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And that just kind of add on that, Leon, about a home bot. Yesterday, I was showing a home. I had a lead come in, and I'm like, let me just pull what the internet thinks. I saw it, and it's like, okay, typically when Zillow's here and Realtor.com is here, then it's typically about here on the price range. I just uploaded the CMA, sent it, took me all of 5 minutes, and then I showed the next home, sent him the bomb the next morning, and said, hey, I just want to adjust it $5,000. This is what I think now that I can look at your neighborhood.
Yeah, one of the things I would look at for you guys right now in the funnels, they're all ranked at the moment, right? You can see them all ranked. The buyers, the listing funnels are kind of the lowest cost lead out there for obvious reasons. But your seller ones are ranked too. And the first one you'll see is always the what's your home really worth with the blue home. And I've told you guys, hopefully you all know at this point, like, hey, you don't want to just use the blue home or any of those custom photos or stock photos. Think about your market, think about landmarks, think about aerial views, even consider just grabbing that satellite image from the asset section of your dashboard and just uploading it. But right now, I think you should all be testing the equity funnel as well. And with that being said, the equity funnel gives you the ability to build the map, but it makes you put in a city or a neighborhood. So to get past that city or neighborhood feature, throw an emoji, throw in the home emoji. Doesn't 1, 2, 3 doesn't really matter. It drops it down to the bottom of that ad. That equity message is a great message right now, and everybody wants to learn about their home's equity. And I guess, for you all, the lesson there is not, I mean, you're going to be focusing on that conversation to begin, but you're going to dig deeper, because everybody begins on the equity. And then as you learn and you uncover, you ask the right questions, it could be their time to position their home on the market today or sometime soon. So I would try those. I would do split and A/B testing out of all of those to see what you're going to see, like what's your greatest return. Any questions on that? You guys know what I'm talking about, hopefully?
Yeah, I ran it. I forgot to see how it was doing. Every time we do a StreetText Mastermind, I throw a bunch of stuff on and then I don't look at it till the next Wednesday. But this is when I work on things. Nicole, on your video, I was thinking, did you happen to put all of your leads into the Google Maps?
I haven't done that yet because I wasn't able to attend that mastermind and I haven't gone to watch it yet, but I just keep seeing everyone's posts and I'm so excited to do it.
Look at that. Look at that. How cool would it be to say, instead, I mean, I do love that I will knock on every door in a neighborhood that you want, or you could do a little screen share, like you could do the video and then a screen share and just say, these are all of the potential sellers in my database. And, they're all on the fence just like you. So if I tell them,
Where's the Raider Stadium?
Over here.
Kind of, no, isn't it by the red where the hotel?
Right here, Cosina.
Yeah,
That's where I want my home.
Okay, see, I have all these potential sellers that I could reach out to, and let them know I have a buyer for their home. So, I mean, I just thought it was cool because you can kind of use that to say that. And
That's
then
a great idea.
and then actually dive into it if they do want that area. Because the door knocking is awesome, but they may think, oh, you already have relationships with all these people just like me, you know, I don't know. That's just an idea.
And Shay just dropped in the link, the shortcut. You don't have to watch the whole mastermind, the little shortcut to figure out how to do that.
Oh, awesome.
And if you guys who've already done it like Wendy have a great way that you found makes it more simple, let us know too. But
Yeah, the green was StreetText. The red was past clients, and then the blue is YLobo.
make sure everybody knows Wendy's been around for a while. You didn't just start generating all those leads right off the bat.
No. Those are over a year. Over a year.
We started this last week.
Yeah, I know, right? That would be funny.
There's still some markets out there. You run a Facebook ad and you get 10 leads, you know, 10 phone numbers and $10. Like we literally have seen it. But that's rare these days. That's like in very rural areas. You know, you won't find that in Las Vegas or Beverly Hills or any of those, you know, SoCal markets, right, Jeff?
Wendy, what is your cost per lead on StreetText?
So I'm looking at my ads now because it's Wednesday. I did the equity one that Marcus was just talking about, and it says I put Las Vegas and Henderson home values have changed. I didn't do the emojis. I actually went out and put the cities in just because I wanted to see how that went. And the CPC is 254, and then got 13 leads in 1 week on that one. One of them, we got 10 leads on one, and the CPC is 621. That's in the red zone, so I'm going to turn that off. And then another one, because I split tested 3, is 259 for CPC, and we got 15 leads. So I'll keep that one on. But my regular fun one that had the strip view, you know, from that condo, that one is still doing pretty good. It's we got 55 leads off of that, and it's 436 for CPC. I know it's not as good as the other one, but it's been running longer, so I definitely keep it on.
Okay, so here's your rule of thumb on these ones, Wendy.
Yes.
Okay, CPC, which is cost per click, right? So you're basically saying Facebook, what's your budget? Like, what do you give them on a daily?
10.
Okay, so you're basically saying, here you go, Facebook, here's $10, go spend it. And Facebook will then break that down into clicks, right? CPC. And so that $4 one, that $2 one. Now, the important thing is, I mean, we're always going to want to drive that CPC low, but the most important thing is how many of those clicks are becoming contacts. And so what you have to look at is when you look at clicks and then you look at leads, is that number at least over 50%? Because your clicks will show you, 60 clicks. Well, you should be seeing at least 30 plus leads, because those funnels on average should be kind of producing over 50%, 60%, in some cases 70%. So what we need to make sure is that whatever our cost per click is, our cost per lead.
Oh, I see. So like the clicks say 24.
Yep.
Then the leads are 13. So because it's over 50%, it's fine, right?
It's that's up to you. What you'd want to do then, of course, is measure how many of those leads provided email and how many of those emails provided phone numbers. So that's where you got to go to the show leads function of that particular ad, and then not only vet out that information, but find out, like, okay, is there any sort of algorithm happening? Is it mostly in Henderson? Is it homes that I want to sell? Is it areas that I want to be in? Because Facebook's going to find more of the same within that particular algorithm. So that's where you have to, as you're split testing, it's not always the obvious, like, lowest cost lead. Sometimes you got to go a little bit deeper and start figuring out if it's picking up in neighborhoods, obviously with the most complete information.
Okay, yeah, it looks like half Henderson, half Las Vegas. So,
and the cool thing is, though, there are people that just stay within the ad performance all day, and that's all they do. And they're looking for the lowest cost lead, lowest cost email, lowest cost phone number, like Steve was saying. Yet you're having all the success. It's like, oh, I forgot to check my ads, a week later.
No, it could be that can make your bank go.
it can, but the funny thing is, it just shows that you're so focused on the relationship and the conversion, where so many people are so focused on spending, like, you know, I have to split tap, I have to ABD, I have to get the lowest cost. I'm like, but where is your focus on actually converting leads?
Right.
And what's your system? What's your process? What's your integrations? How are you cultivating these leads? Are you doing this for the long run? You know, or is this like the next 90-day fix to your business, and you're gonna like evaluate on the next 90 days? So a lot of this is just kind of start rethinking mindset wise and realizing, just like Wendy, you had a lead over a year ago that you found it was important for them to not position the home at the time, to rent out. And you stayed with them and you stayed with them and you stayed with them and you updated their home value. And a year later, this obviously is the market to sell their home in. Because you stayed with them, now you've got that home listed, and you'll probably get some sort of buy out of that too. And it's just people like fail to see the big picture. They're looking for the next sale, and then they forget, hey, what about all the leads I captured a long time ago? And I know every one of our coaches here have worked with people that have started with StreetText for 90 days. Remember, Nicole, you were like that too. You're like, oh, this is not for me, it didn't work. They come back, you vet your leads, and you find out so many of those leads actually went with another agent.
You know what, for me, it wasn't that it wasn't for me. It was, at the time I was able to stop for a month and start for a month and stop. And I did it on and off. And I just got so overwhelmed because you could also, when I first started, you could target, like, I only want Henderson. I want this age, this, and it was just too much. So I'm like, I need to just stop and work on these. But I love that you guys now do that. You need to commit to 3 months, because otherwise you just quit. You go, nope, it's too much. I can't get a system into place, and I'm just not going to do it.
I think it's also key to make sure you're paying attention to the lifetime and the last 7 days. I find sometimes people, they have one bad day and they jump the gun and they turn that ad off, launch a new split test, try it again. So it's very important, obviously, to be paying attention to those, you know, that lifetime bracket and that last 7 days.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm like, it shows red. Isn't that what your red buttons are for? Stop.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people are not doing the, you know, I hope is a little bit obvious, is that you can share your own ads out to groups. You can share your ads out into your organic Facebook sphere. You know, I wouldn't say recommend doing that every day, but Facebook's not going to charge you for that. And when you do share it out, share it with a little bit of a personal message, like, hey, everybody, I'm Facebook, offering a complimentary home value. I even come over, you know, bring over your favorite Starbucks coffee, you know, it's free, right? Start your process below, something like that. And then you can share it. And we talked about this in one of our other masterminds. If you want to start joining all these little local groups, not real estate groups, but local groups, and occasionally post one of those to those local groups.
So this is going to be probably a fairly stupid question. I don't know how to share my ads onto something. I know how to get to them and look at them through, like, oh, here's the ads I'm running, but I don't actually know how to find and share. Because even the other day I said to my mom or my husband, I'm like, hey, can one of you guys click on this? Because I want to know what happens. I know people are getting it because they've confirmed it, but I don't actually know what they're getting. I mean, I know what they're getting, but.
Okay. I'm gonna go to your account.
Okay.
So number one, you go to ads.
Yep.
In your StreetText dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, you go to view ads.
Mm-hmm.
And then number three, you just click on share.
Oh, of course it's that simple.
And then you kind of just experiment with all the share options, right? So I think ultimately just, you know, you might want to just share it to your own feed and then go back to your feed or your profile and then change it up, because from your personal profile, then you can start editing it and sharing it with, you know, a little bit of context, and share it into different groups you have a part of, and so forth. So yeah, let me show you an example.
You're not sharing your screen, just FYI.
Oh, I know, I'm not sharing it yet.
Oh,
okay. I'll make sure I have the right screen to share. Here we go. Okay, now am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, I've actually just gone and turned 2 of the ads off that we did in the customs class yesterday because I had the only click I had on it was yours from yesterday, Marcus. So
Oh. Well, see, it just shows you though, like it's good to try custom things, but it's still hard to be like your ad right now that you're running is just the typical map that says what's your home really worth, enter your address, receive your home value. Like you always try to say, ooh, I'm gonna put the new thing on there, right? And then the new copy and go to Logan's class. And it's great if we can find something that works, but this has been tried, true, tested over 6 years and it doesn't seem to fail. You might have to change it up from time to time, go satellite, go terrain, go map, zoom in, zoom out, change your pin drop, you know what I mean? But here you go. So number one, when you start getting likes and shares, like it's your job to do a quick message to all these people. Because Rosemary, Craig, Tanya, Sharon, Alan, David, if they're not agents, go find out, do some of your own profile work, message them directly and say, hey, I noticed you liked my ad. And you take a screenshot, do your Command Shift 4, send it in their Facebook Messenger.
Top 2 are my friend and my husband. So
okay, yeah, you know what I mean. But so obviously the ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so just make sure you're always analyzing your social engagement. And if you have comments, have fun with the comments, put GIFs in there, make it fun. It's Facebook will keep that running. Here's the share button, right? Share now, share to the news feed, send in Messenger, share to a group, share to a page, share on a friend's profile. So I do all of them.
I cannot believe it is that simple.
I would do all of them and then experiment. And then once you share it, right? If I share now to like my profile, and then I go here and it's on my profile somewhere. Maybe we do refresh. Then I would go and here it is right now, and then I would edit it and change it up a little bit. It might not let me because I'm in Canada, that's why it's not showing the picture. But then I would edit the post.
You can't show pictures in Canada.
Oh, there it is. I don't know why I didn't. There it is. Okay. So now I'd be like, hey, everybody, for all my local Vegas buddies on Facebook, I'm offering a complimentary service. I'll even blah, blah, blah. Do it right there, save it, send it, right? Put a little emojis in it, make your own little twist. And do that from time to time. And then share it into groups, share it to people that are influencers and do the same for you, people that would, hey, it's free, right? It's a free opportunity.
Great friends list.
Yeah, to your friends list. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, how I've, come to the conversion workshop if you want to talk about friends lists and how powerful they can be on Facebook, but a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, along those lines, this is Linda Session. When Facebook, when you try to run an ad like that on your personal page or your business page, and they say it's not, Facebook says it's not authorized, is there any help in StreetText with that?
I don't think I understood that question. Can you ask that again?
Okay, so I tried to run an ad last night. I'll put it on my Facebook page. One of those pictures from StreetText, and I just looked at it this morning, and it said that it wasn't approved by Facebook.
Okay, yeah, that could be a domain error or a bunch of other things. I would just send that message, do a screenshot, send it to support@streettext.com, and we'll look into it for you.
Okay, yeah, I was going to go to YouTube after this, but thank you. I just, since you guys were on, you mentioned that, I was wondering if there's any help.
Just request a review and Facebook will fix that. That's what Steve just said.
Did you say you were trying to post it on your personal page though?
My personal, I sent it to my personal page and my business page.
Oh, you shared. Okay.
I shared it.
Okay, yeah, because you can share ads, but you can't post an ad from your personal page if it's not a business page.
What's the difference between sharing it and posting it?
I mean, I might be wrong. You guys might know. Sharing is you've created it on your business page and you're sharing it to your personal page. Like, hey, check this out from a business page. Posting would mean that you're trying to create an original post onto your personal page. And you can't have anything that's considered money generating if your page isn't business. Am I right on that, guys?
Oh, okay. That might make sense because I use that feature post for my Facebook page. Create a post.
Ira, didn't you have Josh have a document the other day where he was talking about all these different ways of sharing?
Yeah, it's in the insider group. So in the insider group under the files section, I believe we added it, right, Shay? And there's a document that goes through kind of creative copy and different ways to post your ad and get free leads essentially, because you're pushing that lead out. So check out the document under the files section in the insider group. I'll double check it's actually there now. Oh, Wendy, look at her. She's on it. Click the link.
Hey,
He's got it.
Right. We love.
Thanks, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Talking about $3.99, right, Leon? $3.99.
Well, and the thing is Nicole, you were saying that you can't directly post that. Like, so if you look at what he did, he would like go into it and then like copy it and then go into his personal and create a post and post the link to it, and it would work. So I don't know. There was a whole bunch of different cool stuff in there. And as far as posting into groups, doing that with the link instead of the share feature. So yeah, gets pretty tricky. I don't know what's legal or what's not, but you know, I ended up in Facebook jail. So
yeah, Facebook will tell you if it's not legal. You'll get the error like I did.
Facebook's a CRM, if you haven't noticed yet. We talk about that a lot. So get really clear that your personal network that you've created out there is so powerful. If you start using it and segmenting it and learning how to use it as a CRM, it's probably your most powerful CRM that you have. But a lot of people neglect that. They're like, oh, that's just not where my buddies are. I'm like, no, that's actually where a lot of your past clients, current clients, future clients, everybody has a Facebook profile. So if you can learn how to connect there, they get to actually see you every single day. Right.
Could I ask, since Facebook's last change was about a month ago, what the impact has been and how people are dealing with it?
It really just depends, because last week, the iOS 14.5, when it came on, everybody's talking about they're not seeing anything. If you own an iPhone, you go into your general settings, privacy, and look. A lot of times people have already got it all clicked off, so they're not getting the ad tracker showing up, so they're not noticing anything. But you know, very few are actually seeing anything physically because most already have the settings defaulted, and when the new update came out, it automatically kept the settings you had for the privacy.
Yeah, I mean, for you actively running ads, it's just, you know, I foresee that it'll be awesome, you know, when everything kind of just fixes itself. Anybody who doesn't have this solution, and I'm not saying StreetText is the only solution, but anybody who doesn't have the solution with a domain can't run these type of ads anymore. And so not only do you have that advantage, but no one knows that you're running StreetText ads at this angle because you have your own custom domain, both on the ad image as well as in the landing page. So that's a huge plus too. That's going to separate you from every competitor out there on the seller side. I think right now, because Facebook's naturally having to go down and shut certain markets haven't been affected yet, because they have to go basically across the entire world to do it. But certain have, you know, I found that some people, if they don't have this, like we used to have a trial experience where you can set up your ads this way. We don't have that option right now anymore to actually run seller ads. And we're working on a solution where we can have that for trials.
Yeah. So Pamela, like the big update, and now Facebook updates every single day. There's always updates coming down the line, but the iOS update went live last week. And when that went live, anybody running a conversion ad using a pixel or the conversion API that didn't have it with a verified domain, that ad got turned off. That means that basically impressions or views on Facebook is kind of like you have an unfair competitive advantage if you have that set up right now, because you're not bidding against everybody. You're bidding against way fewer ads. A lot of ads that might have had great relevancy before just got turned off, which means it's a whole new ball game. It's a great time for you to get out there. What it also means is it's going to take about 72 hours after you launch a new ad for Facebook to sort of figure out what ad campaign is performing and which one's not. Whereas before they could figure that out within the first 500 impressions. Now it's 500 impressions and 72 hours. It always has to wait 72 hours. The great thing with StreetText is that you can actually see that data building right away. The other big thing that you're going to notice is if you go to your Facebook ad manager, before it was kind of unclear what the actual results were because there, sometimes it was over reporting, sometimes it was under reporting on what the results were on your ad. Now it's way off because they have to guess, because anybody that has the setting turned off, do not track, they don't know that person clicked the ad. So they have to just guess. And so if you go to StreetText, you'll always get that exact number. So that's a big change that you'll see. But
So-
something, oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry, if you're saying that it takes up to 72 hours now, so yesterday I had set up a split test and I literally, as I said, aside from Marcus clicking on one of them, I've had no emails or anything. Should I keep it on longer than 24 hours or turn those off because I got nothing?
I would turn those off.
Okay.
I would treat it the same way we always treat our split test, because we get the data sooner, but Facebook's not going to have the data on their end for another 72 hours. So you're going to see sooner whether the indication is there or not. So yeah, definitely turn it off. If you're not getting anybody clicking our emails within that 24-hour period, that's too long. You don't want to spend that money. We want you to make, get the best ROI.
Yeah.
And Nicole, same results on the same ad. So don't feel bad.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Well, not good to know, but it's good to know.
Something I want to share real quick as well, because Nicole, you talked about that 90-day, when you're starting with this, make sure you're thinking longer term than 90-day. So I sent this email. Do you see this, Brad Baker? I shared this in an email last week, but it's just so profound, because if you take a look at this chart below here, this is that star, that asterisk is right when he started with Club Wealth, but it's also when he started with StreetText. And if you look at that 90-day window for the next immediate 90 days, can you see that his results actually go down a little bit? And the reason for that, he said, is that it's the 90-day rule, which is everything you work on today is going to show up 90 days from today. So if you start doing something new today, then 90 days from now, so we're talking August, the beginning of September, that's when you're going to really see the impact of that in your business. All of a sudden it starts to take off. So if he had fallen short, like if he had stopped short, say with any time within that 90 days, because he's like, oh, it's not working, I'm not getting the impact from it, he never would have got the benefit of all the work that he put in. So it's just a really simple reminder of, anything you do in your business, like shoot for the value, go for the value. I talked about that last week as well, because I was on a hike with a guy called Dan Martell, Steve and I. Dan's a, incredible entrepreneur. He's one of the, he has the largest community of tech founders in the world. And I asked him, like, what do you do when you have so many opportunities? Because he's got so many opportunities. And he says, I always make sure that whatever I'm working on, I push it to value. So I asked him, well, what if the new opportunity is better or bigger than the opportunity he's currently working on? And he says, no, I still the same. I'll treat whatever I'm working on to value. So he always wants to push it all the way to the point where he gets an ROI. So I think that's like a really good point. Like just keeping focus, keeping the effort, and keeping the mind on the thing that's actually driving the outcome. Because it's like going to the gym. If I'm always worried about, am I pushing heavier weights? Am I pushing heavier weights? That's the outcome. And I might stop going to the gym because I don't feel like I'm hitting maybe I'm in a plateau where I'm not getting the result that I'm looking for fast enough. But instead, if I just count how many reps I do, like I've done, Marcus did that crazy challenge last month where you did 30,000 reps in 30 days. It's insane. But if I just count how many reps I do and I stay focused on the reps, then the outcome will happen no matter what. It'll just happen some point in the future. And so it's just keeping the focus on those, on the right thing, which is the activities and, everything we're talking about here as well. Follow-up activities, staying in touch. And I love the map too, because you can really see how you can strategically communicate with your leads as well that way.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the top of funnel is so much based on the way you can create a conversation. and make that person feel like you're not there just to list their home, but you're there to be of value to them wherever they are, whatever they're looking to achieve, whatever they're looking to accomplish, even if this home is their forever home. And so the key is, I mean, I think everybody needs to kind of consider, you know, you are literally looking to win friends and influence people. And if you can't do that, if you don't have a way to do that, you're going to have a struggle with this type of lead gen. It really comes down to the conversations you're able to create with these people. And yes, you give them the value they requested, but you communicate outside and unseen. They're never going to have as accurate as a value as what it could be like yourself over. You let them know that this can be updated anytime, wherever they are. You know, if they're not open to come, you know, you coming over or doing a Zoom meeting or sending pictures, just tell them, you know, maybe that's not the time for you right now. I'll send you this home value just as is, sight unseen. It'll be better than anything you can find online, but all those options are open to you in the future, you know. And you just have to then kind of think about, okay, then what are my system and processes going to do? And am I going to do something like Jen Salter, where I'm gonna check in, or like Nicole, where I'm gonna have that your updated home value, like your value has changed. If you're not willing to do that stuff, where you actually come back and touch base with them again personally, you're never gonna have the results that you can only, like, it just won't happen. It'll just be luck, and you'll be sitting into the idea of 1% lead conversion like everybody else in the online world.
And there's something important about what you said there. It's, you know, you're creating that like, the know, the trust. But the key there is that there are certain activities that create like, know, and trust. And you are already likable. That's a checkbox. You know what I mean? You are already trustworthy. That's a checkbox. Like, there's no question there. You're a professional. You have incredible character, integrity. You go about your business in a way that builds referrals. Like, there's a check mark. So the question then becomes, how do you get that information in front of your prospects? Like, and it's, you know, consistency builds trust. Seeing you builds trust, seeing your life builds trust, seeing you on the Facebook feed builds trust, seeing you in email newsletters builds trust, seeing your postcards builds trust, seeing your ads again and again and again and again and again builds trust. All of that stuff builds trust. Likability is built through BombBomb videos. It's built through how you write things, a few jokes you share on your news feed, you know, the fact that you care about your clients and you share their wins. All of those things create likability. When you talk about your family, your friends, you know, maybe what you were doing on the weekend, you share a funny, you know, I'm following Wendy in the Starbucks line or whatever. It's just funny, right? But it's also, all that stuff creates that likability. And then the no, it happens automatically because of the consistency. And so at a certain point, people are like, okay, I know who you are. I like you. I trust you with my business. It's just like, as soon as I'm ready, I'm using you. Yeah. And so those are the things is that, you know, you already have all the traits. And so it's the activities, just focusing your energy on the activities, or not even your energy, but just focusing your time on the energies and then on the activities. And then the fruit will show up, because it's just, you know, you plant a tree, it blooms, and then it takes a few months for that fruit to mature. But, you know, it's just a matter of time when you're going to be harvesting it. And that's the same thing with lead generation.
And it's the authenticity of those activities, right? Like, you don't want to just have activities just to have activities, because activities don't do much unless they connect with that person. And yeah. So, you know, I think a big part of that is just like, for example, everybody wants to put in the video in their automation, but then you think that's it. And what happens is you quickly get stuck with realizing that, okay, let's just say you have 50% opens on that video. And you have and you know, if you go to the records of your email records, it'll show open, it'll show a click, but what click is it? Is it a click on the unsubscribe? Is it a click on your website? Is it a click on the Facebook link that you put in there, or the Calendly link? We don't know. This is why I advise everybody to get really comfortable with understanding that you should also resend that video and email from within your personal email. Slightly change it up, can it, which means create a snippet or a can, which is the same exact thing. You just send it out again with a different subject line, slightly, you know, question. And then you get into the mode of, I need to do everything like this, because if I can get this open, if I can get this watched, if I can get that click, if I can get a reply, now I'm going into where your true measurement is. It's not my lowest cost per lead. It's how many of these leads can I get to actually engage with? And if you focus on that and that one, really that one thing only for a while, everything else will come into fruition for you. Now your day 3s, your home value, your day 7s, all that stuff makes sense because you got that initial response, you got that initial open, you got that initial relationship focused. Everything else can now kind of, you basically planted the seed in fertile soil rather than not know if it was going to rise up.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And then the one more thing is, the one thing definitely check, if you got Julie running, go log into your conversations. Make sure if you've got people responding to you, you jump on those. Like, just make that part of your everyday habit. Like, at a certain time in the day, just log in there, just check your conversations. If you get a response, just respond to it as soon as possible, because there it is. There you got a fruit. It's ripe. They're asking a question.
Feed to lead.
Jonathan said it just exactly what it's supposed to be. You have to work within your business. You have to change up. People that do that mass overhaul now, I advise against that rather than for it, because you do the mass overhaul and now people look like, whoa, you've lost them. You do a gradual change, but you got to work within the business. I always say the set it and forget it. You can set it and forget what you're running on that, but you still got to follow up. I'm more back to the activity. And even like what Marcus said with the snippet, I'm sending something out saying, hey, just make sure you got this. You already put the work in, it's already made. So even if you spend, I call it a dirty 30 or a power hour within your system, sending that stuff out, you're going to get the engagements, you get the pickups, and you're working with stuff you already have.
Yeah.
Yes. You've done the work. Now you do the follow-up because you've already done the work. Like yesterday, we're going up the mountain, and Steve, he decides he's going to run it. It's a steep mountain. And he tells me, he's like, man, it was painful. And at a certain point, I was like, it's like everything inside of him wanted to stop because it's hurting, right? He's out of breath. And then he just like, no, because what's the point of only running to this point and then stopping here? No, I'm going to make this count. So just keep going. And so he pushed and he kept going. So I think that was the same thing. It's the same principle with lead generation. When, you've if it takes 4 responses to get a response, but you stop at 3, it's like, you're right there. You're right there.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Well, and here's another thing. For those of you feeling overwhelmed and like, where I've again, this is a fire hose, I don't even know how I'm going to start this. Well, one of the things I challenge everybody to consider is time is money. So, whatever you look back at 2020, you guys just paid your taxes, or 2021, you figured out how much you made, break that down into, what are you worth? What's your hourly wage if you were actually paying yourself? And then think about how much time you would have to figure out to kind of go and make this your own. Or you can say, you know what, I'm just going to go invest in somebody who's already done it, like a Jennifer Salter or a Jenky Patel or Donna Swansea or any of these courses that we've created. And we always give coupon codes away. But the thing is, like, why reinvent the wheel? Why try to figure it all out on your own when you can just go spend a few more dollars? Like, time is money. So we're always thinking about how we save money. How can I cut my costs? Well, at the end of the day, don't cut your costs on giving the impression and the experience you want. That's why I say, if you're not willing to do the best, like a bomb, you're looking for an easier solution or a more cost-effective solution. Ask yourself, why does it really matter from $20 to $30 to $50 a month if those experiences aren't going to be what you really need to have, especially on the measuring side, on the screen recording side, on the text message side, on the social side? You have to learn that, like, you don't want to sacrifice costs if it's not going to give that person the experience you need them to have. And then, of course, if you're going to spend the time and invest with StreetText, you got to invest in these masterminds. You got to invest in the conversion workshops. You got to learn to create the foundation. It's gonna be a time intensive in the beginning, but once you kind of figure it out, now you can actually learn how to scale yourself and become like a Salter, where you're doing the 4 to 5 minute CMAs because you've canned it all in a way, but it feels authentic.
I saw a good analogy that goes back to what Leon said today. I'm not even sure where I saw it. And it talked about how when you're gardening and you're planting your seeds, you don't start to question whether the seeds are growing, because if you do, you end up digging the seeds up that you plant. And it's kind of like, here I planted this garden, I'm watering it, I got this funnel, I have all these people coming in. And then what we do is we second guess what we're doing. We tear apart the garden. We turn off our ads, we redo our funnels, we try different things, we chase the next shiny object, and then we come back, our garden's destroyed, we got to put all the seeds back in the ground, and we got to plant everything all over again. And it's really about, like, if you want that harvest, you just have to consistently water it day to day. When Wendy had the conversation a year ago with that person, she made a note: keep following up with this person, keep watering the seed. Don't like take the seed and go, oh great, they're not ready now, and toss them and then move on to the next. It's all about that daily process. It's all about, what are you doing day to day to nurture and water this? And sometimes we just get stuck. Even like, look at Wendy looking at her ads today. That is a common thing all of us coaches see. Somebody who's like having great success with it, we commonly go in, and if we look at their ads, we would rework them, because we look at their ads and we're like, these aren't the greatest I've seen. Actually, some of these ads suck. Like, she's like, oh, it's red. She's like turning it off. Like, but we get stuck in the ad performance section and we forget to spend our time on the nurture section. And just know that funnel building is any business right now. Like, you need to have a funnel. You need to have database. You need to have people coming in, and you need to nurture that across time and have the daily habit of nurturing your garden, and not just keep ripping the seeds up to see if they're growing, because they're going to stop growing. They're not going to, you're not going to have many seeds left in the garden.
That's a great analogy, Ira. That
Yeah.
is great analogy.
I agree. That's awesome.
And that is definitely me. I'm always chasing the next shiny object.
Hey, Linda,
the next shiny button.
here, and Leon, this is the snippet idea, right? So it's I'll show you how simple this is. You literally go from the same email that you're having automatically send to your leads. You grab it like this. You do a complete copy, right? Just like this. For me, it's Command C, but whatever you use, copy, right? I do a Command C. I go back to my email. So in this case, I already have my email signature, and I'm just gonna copy it in there. Okay, now I'm gonna change it up a little, ever so slightly. You know, I'll do all my little things. I'm just kind of giving you a quick overview. But now that it's in here, I'm actually gonna and this is if you're using BombBomb. So here's my BombBomb Power Wheel. So what I do is I save it. I hover my mouse over it just like this, so I have it all selected. Click Save. It automatically saves as a snippet. Now I call that snippet what I want to. You know, Nicole home value. Okay, and now it's saved. So in the future, if I open another email now, and I'll take this one off, what happens is I just go to this power wheel, I click on my snippets button, there's Nicole home value, I just click this plus button, and there it is. That's all I got to do. I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time I send this because what the key on here is, why do I do this? Because now I'm in control of this email's destiny, not just the automation itself. Now I can send that out, and I have the tracking installed, so I can actually put that person's email in and see and filter it by opens, plays, clicks, sends, likes, comments, all. Because again, our entire job here is not just to get these leads, but to actually have them interact with them. And the true measurement of a lead email communicated is open, watched, responded to, clicked on. Like, you want all that happening. So if you really focus your attention on getting that out, and that's how Jennifer has basically got that 90% plus open she talks about in her course for the home value email she sends.
Marcus, the snippets only work with Gmail, right?
At least the way I use it. I don't know how. I've been using BombBomb and Gmail together for a long time, so that's just the way I'm sure there's other ways to do it, and this is where you want to actually contact BombBomb support, because those guys are really good at showing you what's possible with the system.
And you might be able to run it on a program like Outlook or something like that, anything that BombBomb integrates into, but that's where you have to just go ask their support. I've started sending BombBomb videos out of Outlook this last week because I can track the opens and it's so quick, and it's just trying to get that connection on all my active folks, and I've been seeing pretty good activity.
Are you integrating BombBomb with Outlook, Leon, or are you you're just embedding the videos in your Outlook email?
No, Outlook has an extension. BombBomb extension goes straight in there, just like the Gmail one. So it's just as easy as that. So I'm pretty sure anything that the BombBomb integration goes into, you can do it from.
small little things like that, right? That can make all the difference in the world. Because what's it matter if you have a $2 lead or a $10 lead if you can't get in contact with them? So, you know, let's obviously keep on learning how to get the lowest cost leads, but really focus on the measurement of that follow-up rather than always like overthinking that, like, what's my lead cost? What's my lead cost? Like, obviously, look at Wendy. She let it run for a week, and I don't advise that because I'm somebody who would have I would analyze it a little bit more, but she's so busy all the time, so she probably just forgets. You got to make notes to yourself when to go and check in, but it's way better to measure it lifetime versus last 7 days than try to measure it every day, because there's going to be ebbs and flows in the daily.
And it is important when you run it as well. An ad you start on a Monday might not give you the performance of one you ran on a Thursday, because going through the weekend, if I go back and look at a 3 and 5 day set from Thursday through Sunday versus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I usually get better activity towards the end of the week going through the weekend.
So I saw somebody post earlier, it all blurs together, maybe earlier in the week, maybe a few weeks ago, that they turn off their ads Monday through Thursday and then just turn it back on over the weekend. StreetText guys, what are your thoughts on that? Because like, I know for sure I saw a lot more return on the ads over the weekend, but will turning it off for that long of a time affect when I turn it back on?
Yeah, you're resetting the audience. So maybe you have a perfect audience and then you turn it off for more than 72 hours. Then Facebook has to relearn. So it goes back in that learning phase. So you can definitely turn it off, but I wouldn't turn it off for more than 24 hours. If you're doing that. And then, yeah, you run a greater risk. But the reality is that people are looking, they're just as interested on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as they are on Saturday or Sunday. So there's still a lot of benefit to running them in the week. And then also depends on the audience that you're getting, because some ads you might see like, yeah, you're going to get a lot more people on the weekend than less, but other ads work the opposite. So just also make sure you look at your lead flow and see when do your leads come in. And what's most important is take a look at your cost per lead and say, is this a cost per lead that I am comfortable with, that I know that is working for my business? Then if it is, then keep it running and use that same energy or time in doing follow-up.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay, we'll kind of let you go. So anybody who's kind of obviously in trial with StreetText right now, reach out to your coach. We will be working on a solution for seller ads for you guys. It's just not ready yet, but we can work with some buyer lead ads and some listing ads. And if you really, really want to do the seller ads, we could probably find a solution for you, but we'll have to talk personally about that. So thank you so much for attending, and give us your takeaway in the insider group if there's anything you pulled away, something you learned from this session, what you're going to do today. Hopefully all of you are going to go start sharing your ad. Yeah.
Hold on, I just saw Pamela Brown. Pamela, if you go and just delete that ad from your Facebook business page, it's just a problem that they might think you're trying to run something. Just go and delete it and you won't have that problem again.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all. Awesome mastermind. So much to learn.